So we saw that how, after taking bath and oblations to his father, Sachidandan entered Gaya. Now, previous to that, we saw that how they came to Pampuna river. Okay, 1 second. By offering obeisances to Gaya, which is the king of holy places, Tirtha, Raja Tirtha, Tirtha Raja Suvisi, he offered obeisances with folded hands. By offering obeisances to Gaya, which is the king of holy places, the Lord displayed his quality of Bhakta Vatsalya, affection for his devotees. Brahmakunde Asi Prabhu Karilena Snana Yathochita Kaila Pitru Devera Sammana. Thereafter the Lord came to Brahmakund, wherein he took bath and offered oblations to his forefathers. All the activities performed by the Lord beginning at Punpun up to his entrance into Gaya Dham were simply meant for attracting people. Yet it cannot be denied that there was also spiritual significance in these activities. So taking bath in the Punpuna river. This Punpuna river is a holy place. So took bath there, paid obeisances to his forefathers, paid oblations to the forefathers. Till Gaya he did this. Tabe ailena chakravedera bhitara pada padma dekhi bare chalila satvara. Lord then entered Chakraveda and quickly went to see the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. The word Chakraveda refers to Gaya Tirtha. This is where the lotus feet of Vishnu are situated. Chakraveda. The lotus feet of Krishna is there. Vipragana Vediyache Shri Charanasthana Shri Charani Mala Yena Diola Pramanam. Countless flower garlands were stacked like a temple dome on Lord Vishnu's footprints. Many people come, they go on putting flowers. Huh? So it became a stick, like a mountain, which were surrounded on all sides by Brahmanas. Diula means the house of the Lord or a temple. Gandha Pushpa Dhupa Deepa Vastra Alankara Katapadiyache Lekha Jokha Nahi Tara. Unlimited sandalwood paste, flowers, incense, cloth had been offered at the lotus feet of the Lord. The word lekha in the phrase lekha jokha is derived from the Sanskrit word likha, which means to write, and the word jokha is derived from the Hindi word jokhna. Jokhna means to weigh. Lekha jokhna, numbers and quantity. So weight and means, writing and counting, accounting and certificates. So it was like unlimited. What you will count? Count the numbers. It's difficult to even weigh. And it is very difficult to even write. So many offerings were done at the lotus feet of the Lord. Something which is small quantity can be written, but something which is huge cannot be even understood. Chaturdike Divya Rupa Dhari Vipragana Karite Che Pada Padma Prabhava Varnana. The Brahmanas appeared like divine beings as it described the glories of the Lord's lotus feet. It is said just by describing the lotus feet of Krishna, one becomes very beautiful, one becomes very divine. They appear like the divine beings. Kashinath Hridaye Dharila Ye Charana Nirvadhi Lakshmira Jivana. So the word, the Lord Shiva accepted these same lotus feet in his heart. And the same lotus feet are constantly served by Lakshmi Mata. So that is the glory of Krishna's lotus feet. The glory is Lord Shiva is constantly remembering the lotus feet of Krishna. Constantly. And Mother Lakshmi is constantly serving the lotus feet of Krishna. Bali Shire Avirbhava Haila Ye Charana Sei Dekhata Bhagavata Jana. These lotus feet were placed on the head of Bali Maharaj. Oh, fortunate souls. Now see those same lotus feet here. What a fortune Bali Maharaj has. And what a fortune all these bhaktas they are having, the brahmanas are having. They are seeing the lotus feet of the Lord. Tilar dekho ye charana dhyana kaile matra yamatarana hayena adhikara patra. One who meditates on these lotus feet for even a moment never comes under the jurisdiction of Yamaraj. That is why you have a tortoise in every temple. The purpose of having tortoise is to learn from tortoise how the tortoise, remaining in water, meditates on the eggs which are laid on the land. And because of just meditation, the offspring come out from the eggs. So that is the power of meditation of tortoise. Now the tortoise which is there in the temple is not Kurma Avtara. Many of them think this is Kurma Avtara. No, this is just a tortoise. But from tortoise, what we have to learn? We also have to meditate in such a way that Lord outbursts his love onto us. That much sharp meditation, like how the tortoise does, we should do. And also, Kurme Angi, it is said in Bhagavad Gita. What other thing we can learn from tortoise is he winds up the limbs whenever not required. Simple. Whenever not required, you don't have to use your senses. Use the senses only when it is required. When it is not required, just wind it up. Yada samharte chayam kurmonganiva sarvashah. Indriyarthesha arthebhyas tasya prajna pratishtita. Indriyani indriyarthebhyah. So the senses from the sense objects can be immediately withdrawn, but just by withdrawing the senses. Wherever required, then only we have to use the senses. That is how the tortoise is fixed in its consciousness. In the same way, we have to be fixed in our Krishna consciousness. Then what we should do? Use the senses wherever required. Not required, just withdraw the senses. Yogeshwara sabar dullabhaye charana seiye dekhe dekhayata bhagyavanta jana. Those lotus feet are rarely attained by even the best of the yogis. Oh, fortunate souls, now see the same lotus feet here. It's very difficult for the yogis also to attain. That has been given. Then it is so easy. Here it's so easy to attain the lotus feet of Krishna. The word Yogeshwara refers to a person who has achieved the fruit of mystic perfections in the form of merging into the existence of the Lord, or a person who is full of mystic perfections attained through Hatha or Raja Yogas. Those who are expert in Yoga Shastras merge into the existence of the Lord. Such yogis who have merged themselves in the existence of the Lord are never qualified to see the lotus feet of the Lord. The reason for that is that according to them, the object of service, the servant and the service are all one. Therefore, there is no scope for spiritual variegatedness. Therefore, the yogis are most unfortunate, since they are bereft of the highest goal of life, love of God. The fortunate devotees condemn the other than respect their ultimate desired goal. Now, why the yogis find it very difficult to attain Lord? Because they want to merge in Brahman. That means they want to destroy their existence, their individuality. So when they want to destroy their individuality, then they don't find any difference between served and the served, and the one who is serving, served and the servant. They want to merge, everything is one. Service is one, served is one, servant is one, everything is one. So if that type of attitude is there, everything is one, that type of attitude is there, then he will never understand. He will never understand the glories of chanting the holy name, service to Krishna that has been given. Ye charane bhagirathi, haila prakasha nirvadhi, ardaye na chada yaradasa. Okay. The Ganges emanated from the lotus feet, and the servants of the Lord constantly keep these lotus feet in their hearts. So, Ganga, her whole consciousness is in attaining the lotus feet of Lord. She flows from there only, she attains lotus feet. How she attains? She constantly meditates. And in the same way, the devotees also, they want the lotus feet of Krishna. They also meditate. That is why they say that we just want to be just the dust at the lotus feet of Krishna. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram. We just want to be servant. Kinkaram means servant. And we just want to be the dust. Ananta shayaya ati priyaye charana sehide dekha yata bhagyavanta jana. These lotus feet are the most enchanting on the bed of Ananta. All fortunate souls. Now see those same lotus feet here. Now the Brahmanas are glorifying, because the Brahmanas were offering the flowers given by the people. People were offering the flowers. The Brahmanas were standing there and they were glorifying the lotus feet of Krishna. It so happens once Vedanta Deshika, there was a proud person who had come there, proud learned scholar, in Sri Rangam. Then he said, okay, let us debate who writes the best glorification of the lotus feet of Krishna. So whole night, both of them are writing. Next day, Vedanta Deshi, he presented his, proud scholar. Vedanta Deshika, then he presented his. He said, I could not yet reach the lotus feet of Krishna because I was just meditating on the Paduka of Krishna. And for Paduka, he wrote Sahasranamavali. Then 1,000 glorification of just Paduka. That scholar was amazed. He wrote few verses, he also wrote, but here Vedanta Deshika wrote 1,000 verses on Paduka of Krishna. Just see. He said one has to meditate on the lotus feet of Krishna, Paduka of Krishna. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing is meditate on the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. And if you are able to meditate on the symbols which are there, the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna, that is perfection. It's not so easy to meditate on the symbols. Though we have done the symbols many, many times, it's not so easy. But still, one can meditate on the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. And if he is able to do that, there is a perfection of his life. So these lotus feet are most enchanting on the bed of Ananta. Oh, fortunate souls, now see the same lotus feet here. Now Krishna jumps and sits on the bed of Ananta. Ananta Shayya Ati Priya Ye Charana. And Ananta feels that happiness, that bliss, when Krishna is sleeping on his bed. That means his lotus feet is there. Bhulakshmi also desires the lotus feet of Krishna. That is why sometimes she does the Leela in such a way that she wants Krishna to just walk on her body. Because Bhulakshmi, she wants Krishna should walk on him, walk on her. The imprints of the lotus feet of Krishna has been glorified in the Vrajadham also, Vrajadham Leela also. Oh, fortunate souls, now see the same lotus feet here. That is why when the devotees go to Vrindavan, generally they don't put chappal because Krishna has walked there. Bake Vihari. He has done so much of Viharan there. So now, Charana Prabhava Shuni Vipragada Mukhe Avishta Haila Prabhu Premananda Sukhe. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is hearing to the wonderful pastime of the lotus feet of Krishna, the glories of the lotus feet of Krishna. The phrase Charana Prabhava is explained as follows. Imagining the Supreme Lord to be formless, the impersonalist, cannot understand the wonders of the Lord's eternal form, which attracts even self-satisfied souls. The impersonalist process of consideration arises from material conception. After subduing the impersonal philosophy, the lotus feet of the Lord were installed on the head of Gayasura at Gaya. These lotus feet of the Lord are the source of all spiritual pastimes. The voidism of Buddhists and the impersonalists of the Panchopasakas were buried under the lotus feet of Gadadhar. Since the Panchopasakas ultimately become impersonalists, they are simply Buddhists in disguise. That is why they are all asuras, and they were very much residing in Gaya. Many people were there in Gaya. So the conceptions of the fruitive workers opposed to Vedic injunctions are under the shelter of ignorance. The conception of the Buddhists were opposed to the Vedas and deny spiritual existence. Conception of the impersonalists, though not directly Buddhists, superficially follow the Vedas, deny material existence, and are a covered form of Buddhism. One thing is common, both are denying material existence. But what is the use? They are not able to see the matter in connection with Krishna. They are not able to know that the source of everything emanates from Lord only. Since the covered Buddhist impersonalists and their followers, the Panchopasakas, consider the eternal form and eternal lotus feet of Gadadhara as material, perceived by their senses and products of material nature, they are eternally bereft of the good fortune of seeing them. The devotees who accept the eternally variegated pastimes of the Lord never give respect to the philosophy of covered Buddhism that superficially follows the Vedas. The lotus feet of the Lord attract Shiva, Brahma, Sukadev, and many other self-realized souls. They are the eternal absolute truth of Sachidananda Vigraha. Therefore, the impersonalist conception of Panchopasana, which is meant for cheating people, is nothing but a means of cheating innocent, foolish people. Therefore, the most intelligent devotees never accept impersonalism, the covered form of Buddhism. Where one does not have faith in the personal aspect of Krishna, that is impersonalism. Where a person denies any existence after death, that is Buddhism. If you see, both are same, because there is no acceptance of the lotus feet of Krishna. So both are not accepting, both do not have faith. It has been given. Last verse. Ashrudhara Vahidui Shri Padma Narayane Loma Harsha Kampahaila Charana Darshane. As the Lord looked at the lotus feet, tears flowed from his lotus eyes. His hair stood on the end and he began shivering. Sarva Jagatera Bhagye Prabhu Gaura Chandra Prema Bhakti Prakashera Karila Arambha. In this way, Lord began to manifest ecstatic devotional service for the benefit of the entire world. This will read tomorrow. So devotional service is not only beneficial for oneself, it is going to benefit the entire world. That is why devotees should be very careful, cautious in performing the devotional service. This is the highest welfare activity which you can give to the entire world. A devotee by nature is very saumya. He should be saumya. Saumya means very calm, peaceful, not an agitating person. So he should be very calm. He should always take up Krishna consciousness very seriously. Important. Okay, Chandrapati Prabhu, you have doubt? Yes, Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah.
Mataji, in just now we were talking on impersonalist and Buddhism. So impersonalist means they are not believing in the form of the Lord, right?
Hmm.
And in Gujarat, in Jainism and Gujaratis, we generally there are two types. One is Thanakvasi and one is Deravasi. If you have heard about it, one is they worship the form of Lord, and one they don't have anything in the Haveli systems. They just don't believe in the form. Means there is no form of the Lord inside. So they are also impersonalist. Means we can consider that.
Wherever a person does not accept the impersonal form of Lord, they are non-Vedic. Simple. They may be whatever, they are non-Vedic. They may come to Haveli, they may do anything. But a person, when he is not accepting the personal form of Lord, not accepting the separate identification, and I am servant, he is master, he is an impersonalist only.
Okay, Mati. Thank you.
So all of you work hard for, yes, yes. Who is there?
माताजी दंडवत प्रणाम।
बोलिए
माताजी,
ना।
हाँ, गया में भगवान के एक चरण क्यों दिखाई देते हैं?
2 चरण है।
लेकिन जब हम लोग गए थे भगवान के एक ही चरण, जहाँ पर पितृपक्ष के लिए पूजा करते हैं, उधर एक ही चरण दिखाई देते हैं।
इसमें तो ऐसा दिया नहीं है, देखते। I'll let you know.
भगवान
के 2 ही चरण, एक चरण कैसे खाली, एक ही चरण कैसे हो सकता? 2 ही चरण रहेगा। एक शायद लुप्त हो गया होगा थोड़ा सा, जैसे पीपल लोग फ्लावर डालते रहते तो वो थोड़ा सा मार्क्स थोड़ा ये हो जाता हो।
हरे कृष्णा माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। और काशीनाथ पर एक संदर्भ आया है, वो काशीनाथ का उसका एक्सप्लेनेशन उसमें आपने काशीनाथ तो विश्व शिव जी को उल्लेख होता है ना
काशीनाथ,
तो
काशी के नाथ।
हाँ, नहीं इसमें आपने जो पढ़ा ना उसमें काशीनाथ आया था, उसका उधर है क्या कुछ ऐसा शिव जी का संदर्भ?
हाँ, तो वहां ऐसे बोल रहे हैं कि लोटस फीट को मेडिटेट करते रहते हैं काशीनाथ।
हाँ।
जो काशी के नाथ शिव जी हैं, वो हमेशा कृष्ण को मेडिटेट करते हैं।
ओके, थैंक यू, अभी समझ। ओके,
सभी लोग अभी रथ यात्रा के लिए, उसके पहले एमसीसी कॉन्टेस्ट है संडे को, सैटरडे में कल्याण में है, संडे भी कल्याण में है, तो कल्याण के डिवोटीज वहां वर्क करिए अच्छा सा। संडे को यहाँ थाना के डिवोटीज, so call as many people as possible